Of course, you can train your mind. You can train the brain to do anything. And the law of attraction works on the subconscious mind. So the moment we train it and with the repetition, reprogram it, we can reprogram it for wealth, we can reprogram it for attracting money. And once that's done, we're flowing with the formless. So money just comes our way effortlessly. I think the first thing is to understand how things get into the mind in the first place. Because on the stem of the brain, there's two main organs, and that is the amygdala, which is in charge of the emotions, and the hippocampus, which is in charge of the short and long-term memory. So what happens is, a lot of the time when people find it hard to manifest wealth or money or abundance in their life, it's because there has been some previous past training, right, unconscious training that's taken place where emotions have been involved with money, and that creates the lack vibration. Everything's to do with pain-pleasure relations. So let's say, for example, if your parents, when you were younger, they maybe argued around money. Maybe it was the fact that you were a kid and you said, "Mummy, can I have this toy?" And maybe mum says yes, or dad says yes, and mum says no, and then they start arguing. And then naturally, because that creates this pain, right? Baby starts crying or kid starts crying. You have this pain relation to money, and it's unconsciously logged into that brain. Yeah, if you know this to be true, then obviously you were unconsciously trained that way, right? So if we know how the mind works, then we can consciously reprogram it or train it through repetition to actually build a strong, what my mentor in the past would say, a strong financial thermostat. Everybody has a set amount that is conditioned, and it's like set on that thermostat, the financial thermostat. So that's why you see some people, they have, let's say, $1,000 in their account, and they've always have $1,000 in their account. The people who have $100 in their account always have $100. Some people, they have 5 figures in their account, or 6 figures, or maybe even some people have 7 figures, and they find it very hard to get to the next level, right? And I'm not saying it never happens, because occasionally there'll be a time where, I don't know, they win a prize, or they get a pay rise, or something happens, and then they get an extra amount of money. But what they find is they somehow start spending it, and they always come to that point again. And this is like a reoccurring thing, because that is the financial thermostat. So what we want to do is very simple. The first part of it is the pain, pleasure, emotions, right? So let's say, for example, if I say money doesn't grow on, you'll probably be able to finish the sentence. If I say money is the root of all, probably some word is already popping in the mind. And if that is in the mind, then somehow unconsciously it's stuck inside your brain already. So if we retrain the mind, how do we condition it or shift it, is about taking that pain relation and shifting it to a pleasure relation. So for example, if we take a term like money doesn't grow on, they say, trees, we would switch the whole thing with a new affirmation saying money comes my way easily, right? Or if we say money is the root of all and people say evil, we can say money is the root of all good doings in this world, or money can change people's lives, or money can help people. If we switch it to a pleasure relation and we condition the mind through repetition, it's the same thing, right? Think about it. Because what we know best is always going to be the things that we've trained the most amount for, right? The more you train, the better you become at something, the more in flow you can be. So later on, it becomes effortless. Yeah, I've had that saying for many years. I always say, master the form and flow with the formless. I think that everything works the same, right? It's like riding a bike. When you first learn riding a bike, it's a lot of effort. But once you've mastered the form, you're kind of flown with it. You don't really think about, oh, I need to move this leg, then move this leg, or I need to balance myself. You don't think about those things now. You're just in the flow of things. Well, money can be just that easy as well. Once you've trained your brain or reconditioned the brain and increased your financial thermostat to the desired amount, guess what? Everything comes effortlessly. Yeah, I think the final thing is how to set that bar. And I remember one of my mentors used to say, if you aim for the stars and you miss, you'll end up on the moon, right? And I think that a lot of the time when people set a goal to say, oh, I want to make I don't know, $5,000 this month, or whatever they want to make, right, or whatever they want to manifest, sometimes there's some shortfall. So what my mentor used to always say is, whatever the number is that you're trying to achieve, add a 0 on the end and actually make a plan of action to work towards that. When you do that and you're working extremely hard towards it, guess what? You may fall short, but even if you fall short, you hit the target that you originally had. I would say training the mind requires a few things. I would say number one, it requires a mentor, because you need to find somebody who's done it, been there before you. As they always say, success leaves clues, right? So find yourself a mentor to be able to help you with what is the actual physical implementation, what are the strategies you can learn to build more wealth in your life. I think the second thing is about having a coach. And people often question, what's the difference between a mentor and a coach? And I always say a coach is somebody who is there to kick your ass, to keep you moving. You see, sometimes an athlete can have a coach, but the coach isn't necessarily better at that sport than the actual athlete, but they know how to hold them accountable. So I think that's really important too. And the final thing, to really train and condition the mind, I believe it's about your surrounding. There's a saying that says your network is your net worth, right? They say if you take the closest 5 people around you, you take their average salary, most likely your annual salary will be very similar. So I think once you change your environment, not only does it change your knowledge, the way you think and the way you approach things, but we always also say your tribe equals your vibe. So what happens is it also shifts your vibrational frequency to that of abundance. And therefore, it gives more congruency, more alignment, so that all the vibrations are aligned with the wealth frequency, and wealth comes your way, manifests your way effortlessly.